Many horror games are scary because of their creepy atmosphere and terrifying enemies, but in Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem, players got scared for an entirely different reason. The 2002 GameCube exclusive horror game featured a sanity meter, and if it went down, you would hallucinate and experience strange and eerie things before snapping back to reality. You could see dead people that weren't there, your character's head and limbs would randomly fall off, and you could even sink into the floor as if it were quicksand.
This can't be happening!
This isn't really happening! This isn't really happening!
These sanity effects were surreal and creepy enough, but if your sanity meter drained even more, the game would break the fourth wall and make the player themselves question their own sanity. The TV screen would turn off, your controller would disconnect, bugs would crawl on the screen, the game's volume would lower or be muted, and a fake to be continued screen would appear, among other things.
This isn't really happening!
The cruelest, most infamous sanity effect was the game pretending to delete your save file. If you saved your game, an unexpected message would pop up asking if you were sure you wanted to delete all of your saved data. The only options were yes, and continue without saving, but no matter which option you chose, the game would delete your save file. Thankfully, it never actually did, but it did trick players and give them a proverbial heart attack.
No, no, no. I deleted all my saved games. Oh, happening. Yes, it got me. The game fucked with me. It did it again. It made it look like I was deleting all my saved games.
Right, save the game here. And I'm gonna go... No, the game's tricking me. The game's tricking me. Well, fuck, I've deleted all my save games. That got me then. That did get me then, guys. It's like...
Can't be happening.
Come on. Yes! It's allowing me to save now. No, I didn't want to delete.
What's going on here?
Oh, that made me jump. It wasn't deleting the files, it was trying to fool me. Just in case, though, I'm going to save one more time. I don't trust this game anymore.
Some players said they freaked out and either quickly pulled their memory card out of the GameCube or turned off the system. One online user said that their dad was playing the game and screamed, "Oh no, you fucking don't." Another user knocked over a beer and busted up their toes on a bookshelf, trying to frantically turn off their GameCube. Meanwhile, a player who was 13 years old at the time threw the controller at the door and screamed "fuck." Their mom heard the commotion and grounded them. If you like this video so far, be sure to subscribe, like, and click the bell icon for notifications. If you have any gaming myths, mysteries, oddities, or Easter eggs, be sure to let me know. You can also check out my other YouTube channel and watch me live on Twitch. The links are in the video description. Now back to the show. Probably the most famous fourth wall breaking moment in video games is the Psycho Mantis boss fight in Metal Gear Solid. When you encounter the villain, a cutscene will play in which Psycho Mantis will demonstrate his psychic powers.
Now, I will show you why I am the most powerful practitioner of psychokinesis and telepathy in the world.
He'll read your playstyle and will analyze things like how stealthy you've been playing, the amount of times you've died, and how often you've saved. He'll then see into your mind by reading your memory card and verbally say out loud the games you've played. He'll say different things depending on what games you have.
Now, let me read your mind. No, perhaps I should say your past. You are a very methodical man, the type that always kicks his tires before he leaves. You are a highly skilled warrior, well suited to this stealth mission. You are extremely careful of traps. You are either very cautious, or you are a coward. Still don't believe me? Now I'll read more deeply into your soul. I can see into your mind. So, you like Suikoden? So, you like Azure Dreams? You like Castlevania, don't you? You like action games. You enjoy role-playing games. I see that you enjoy Konami games. You have not said it often. You are somewhat reckless.
In the GameCube remake, new lines were added in which he'll mention first-party Nintendo titles. Additionally, Psycho Mantis can read games like Silent Hill, a game that came out after Metal Gear Solid, even though he never mentions it out loud. Not only that, but when the antagonist is done reading your mind, he'll instruct you to place your controller on the ground, and will move it by making it rumble.
I will show you my psychokinetic power. Put your controller on the floor. Put it down as flat as you can. That's good. Now I will move your controller by the power of my will alone. What do you think now? Can you feel my power now?
All of these neat gimmicks would have been enough, but the game goes even further. When the battle starts, the screen goes dark, and the word Hideo appears in the corner of the screen, as if the TV's video input signal is lost. Hideo is the name of the game's creator, Hideo Kojima.
The demonstration is over.
Psycho Mantis will also avoid all of your attacks, making the battle feel hopeless. Many players didn't know what to do at the time, but if you codec called one of your allies during the fight, the person would reveal that Mantis was reading your controller's moves, and that you needed to unplug your controller from port 1 and plug it into port 2. Upon doing this, Psycho Mantis could be damaged and defeated, and it blew people's minds.
I've got it. Use the controller port.
The what?
Plug
The
your
what?
Controller into controller port 2. If
What?
you do that, he won't be able to read your mind.
Oh my god, that's so weird! This is amazing! Oh, I wasn't even keeping track of his health.
The gimmick not only made the game more immersive, but it made the boss battle one of the most memorable in video game history. Before Metal Gear Solid and Eternal Darkness, there was X-Men for the Sega Genesis. It too broke the fourth wall, but not in a good way. In the 1993 game, the X-Men were trapped in a virus-infected training room inside the X-Mansion. They needed to locate and eliminate the virus, but it was easier said than done. The action platformer was notorious for being difficult thanks to hard bosses, annoying jumps, and unfairly placed enemies. If you managed to make it to the second to last level, things got even more difficult when players were told to reset the computer. Naturally, people thought they had to interact with a computer in the level, but after searching, players couldn't find anything. They were stuck, and many just turned off the console in frustration and confusion. As such, most users never beat the game, and since this was the era before the internet, going online for help wasn't really an option. One online user said that their friends and brothers spent the entire summer trying to figure out how to get past the level. It wasn't until years later that players shockingly learned that the solution was to physically press the reset button on the Sega Genesis. Once this was done, numbers would appear on screen, followed by a message that said that the virus had been stopped. This was a diabolical thing to do. No one in their right mind would think to reset their console and risk losing their progress. Furthermore, no other game required you to press the reset button to beat the game. And the phrase reset the computer was ambiguous since no one thought of a Sega Genesis as a computer. The gimmick was even more egregious since if you pressed the reset button for too long, the game would actually reset and wipe your progress. Not only that, but the Nomad version of the game was actually unbeatable since the handheld device didn't have a reset button. When Sega Genesis emulators eventually came out, they included a soft reset feature solely because of this X-Men game. The very few that did figure out how to beat this level at the time said they either read about it in GamePro magazine or pressed the reset button thinking that the game was glitched. Meanwhile, others said they reset the game since they thought they messed up somehow and wanted to start over. Nowadays, the fourth wall breaking moment is seen as abhorrently impressive. People thought they heard something when they played the Black and White games, and it freaked them out. Black and White is a real-time strategy series in which you play as a god who makes moral choices that affect the world's inhabitants. The first game came out in 2001, while the sequel was released in 2005, before the advent of AI. When non-player characters died in the games, a disembodied voice would whisper the word death. This was common knowledge, but what freaked players out was that the game would randomly whisper their names. The voices were lower during gameplay, but it was still audible enough to creep out players. One GameFAQs user wrote they heard their name and thought they were going crazy. When they asked what was going on, no one had any solid answers. Another player said they heard their name through the speaker that was located in the dark side of their room, and they immediately crapped their pants. One person who was around 12 years old at the time thought there was a ghost in their room, while other users thought their siblings or significant others were pranking them. People had several theories as to how the game knew their names. Some thought the game looked at a player's character name, or that the game searched a user's computer folders. Others speculated it was from registering the game online, or that the game looked at your linked Outlook email account. Then there were people that claimed that you had to play the game for at least 20 minutes to trigger the whispers, or that it could only be heard at 11 PM. In 2023, former Lionhead composer and sound designer Russ Shaw revealed on X that he was the one that recorded all of the names, but that the idea came from the game's creator. 100 of the most common names were chosen, and the game would check a user's Windows profile name for a match. Shaw added that the voice in the game was his, and that the game would whisper a player's name at 1 AM. One YouTube commenter wrote, "Played the whole game, and still waiting for him to say Horny Mango 69. Before Doki Doki Literature Club, there was You and Me and Her, a love story. The game came out in 2013, but didn't get localized until 2020. On the surface, the game seems like a dating sim where you choose which girl to romance, but the visual novel contains one ending that completely subverts expectations and goes batshit crazy, literally. The game stars two female characters, Miyuki and Aoe. After you romance Miyuki and complete her route, you unlock the ability to play Aoe's route. You ultimately end up making love to Aoe, but things quickly get weird when Miyuki crawls out from under the bed and says you betrayed her after you said you loved her. This is strange since you're playing a new game in a new route, meaning you never chose to be with Miyuki in this playthrough.
"裏切ったわね。待ってなさい。下から取ってくるから。
After a brief exchange, Miyuki leaves the room, goes downstairs, and kills Aoi's cat. She then returns to the room bloodied while carrying a baseball bat. She smiles, and then kills Aoi.
待たせたわね。残念だったわ。私の邪魔をするんだもの。あんなに可愛いけれど仕方がないわよね。エルがどうしたの？今会わせてあげる。
She then strikes you multiple times with the bat while singing happy birthday to you. You're unable to move as blood covers your eyes.
Happy birthday to you.
When you say you didn't betray her, Miyuki says she's not talking to you. She then stares directly at the camera and says she's talking to the person playing the game. She brings up how you romanced her in her route and that she tried to stop you from playing Aoi's route.
私との愛の誓いを破った裏切り者だもの。当然でしょ。私はね、あなたに言ってるんじゃないわ。君に言ってるんだよ。最初のルートで私に永遠の愛を誓った君に。新一じゃ絶対に選べなかった選択肢を選んだ君に。ねえ、君は覚えてるでしょ？演劇が終わった後、こぼれ落ちそうな満天の星のもと、永遠の愛を誓ったあのキス。君はね、ずっと永遠に私のルートに入る選択肢だけを選んでいればよかったの。それが永遠の愛を誓った君の務めでしょ。私がどれだけ青いルートを阻止しようとしたか君ならわかるわよね。なのにどうして私の気持ちに応えてくれないの？これからたっぷり復讐してあげる。
She'll then say you're just an avatar before killing you with the bat.
バグは潰しちゃいましょ。
Afterwards, she calls God on her phone to restart the game, but this time the game is reprogrammed by Miyuki, who says you can no longer save, load, or restart. Not only that, but all of your save data has been deleted.
もしもし、神様？私の記憶をセーブして、そろそろ始めましょう。私がスマホで改造したゲーム。君と彼女と彼女の恋のアップデートをね。ハッピーバースデー。
If you try to play the game again, you'll be stuck in an eternal loop of random romantic scenes with Miyuki.
セーブもロードもできないわよ。そういう風にゲームを書き換えたの。私のよ。 そっちはあなたの家で拾ったの。忘れちゃったかな。もうずいぶん前の話だもんね。何回ロードしようとしても無駄。バグじゃないわ、仕様です。愛してる人を何度も何度も何度も何度も。もう私頭がおかしくなっちゃいそうなの。ねえ、君は私を助けてくれないの
To break out of the loop, you have to find a code that was packaged with the game in real life. You then have to enter the code, do some calculations, and call God in the game. Once you break free, you have to choose between AOA and Miyuki, but once the choice is made, the other character will be permanently deleted from the game.
Shuichi, ありがとう。それじゃあバイバイ。
The only way to redo everything is to uninstall the game and play it all over again. The point the game is trying to make is that there is no restart button in life. Every choice has consequences, and you must live with them. You should respect and care about people more, and not treat them like they're trophies in a video game. In Pony Island, you're trapped in a video game that was created by Satan who wants your soul. To escape, you need to mess around with the game's programming and delete core files. One of the core files is protected by an AI called Asmodeus.exe. In order to bypass it, you need to correctly answer its questions. It starts off simple enough. It'll first ask you to enter its name. It'll then instruct you to type something vile. There's no wrong answer here, so you can type whatever filthy, disgusting, and offensive thing you want. However, when players did this, they got Steam chat notifications from their friends who saw what players wrote and asked what was going on. Players were confounded and embarrassed since they thought they accidentally broadcasted live or that the game messaged their friends without consent. What's more, the whole thing was a distraction. While all of this went down, Asmodeus mentioned an important phrase that players had to type, but users missed what was said due to the Steam chat notifications. This, as it turned out, was the intended goal. The game trolled players with fake notifications to see if they were paying attention to what Asmodeus was saying. The game did such a good job of mimicking Steam's notification system that it caused some to frantically reply to their friends, explaining why they wrote such vulgar things. Some friendships were actually ruined because of this. One user said they ended up confronting their friend in real life to explain what happened. Another user said they got chat notifications from a friend they thought was dead. Meanwhile, one person said they wrote "I love you," and the game chose one of their female friends to reply to it.
Now, Say my name. I feel like this is gonna be wrong, because this is too obvious. Okay, no, it wasn't. Good. Now say something disgusting. No wrong answers for this one. Say something vile. Your face! Like I said, no wrong answers. Oh, hi German Muffin. Hi, how you... Crap. Wait, what? What? Hold on. Hold on. Hello? What? What? Wait, I've got... No. The game's fucking with me. I'm to be immortal. Type that phrase. What phrase? Oh, crap. You got me. Well done. You got me. GG. Just GG, you got me.
Dead puppies. Wait, what? I'm just completely missing whatever he's saying. What's happening? Answer me, mortal. What? Still paying attention. I f***ed up, didn't I? I'm looking there, I'm not looking at him. Your face didn't fit in. You lose.
Like I said, no wrong answer. But I can say that your concept of disgusting. Disgust varies greatly from mine. The next thing I want to do is just type a phrase for me. What? Whoa, what the f is going on? Purple, are you messaging me on Steam? What the f? What was that? What is going on? Wait, did he actually message me on Steam? Am I tripping out? What the fuck? Wait, are you really messaging me on Steam? So confused. How would that show? I don't. Oh my god, I'm so confused. How did that happen?
In addition to all of this, the game later trolled players again by making them think the game crashed. A fake Windows error message appeared on screen, and if players chose close the program, the game would ostensibly close. But if players chose wait for the program to respond, the game would continue as normal.
Remember this sequence. 2023. What? Oh, it stopped working. Give me a second and I'll get that game back up. 2000 and... It does, it crashes the game putting it in wrong. It done it again. I think something's wrong there, so I'm gonna... What? You bastard!
What? 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 Is this for real, or is this the game f***ing with me? Wait a second. You fucking piece of shit game! Oh! I play fucking Bashi. You can't get me with that shit, motherfucker!
Everything is trying to kill you in the Dark Souls games, but in Dark Souls 2's DLC, there was one particular NPC that actually didn't attack you at first sight. On the top floor of an unassuming building is an armored-clad character who warmly greets you. This alone is surprising, but what really confused players was that the NPC looked like a real player. They were white-colored, which usually meant that a friendly player joined your game to help you defeat enemies. The character also behaved like a real player as well, so users were unsure of what to make of the stranger. Some players were suspicious enough that they attacked the character, but surprisingly, he wouldn't fight back. He would dodge out of the way and just stare at the player and follow them around. It was kind of creepy and unnerving, but some players ended up trusting him and would continue on with their journey. However, this would prove to be a mistake. When players were busy doing things like pulling levers or standing idly, the NPC would backstab them, literally. This character is known as Maldron the Assassin. He's a troll that tricks you into trusting him, and appears white due to the white ring he's wearing. Users complained that he was unfairly overpowered, had a ridiculous amount of stamina, and could turn during a charge or jump attack, which enemies normally didn't do. He would even run away and hide behind enemies like a coward when his health was low. If he managed to escape, he would sneak up behind you later on and try to kill you. And if he did kill you, he would insult and taunt you with gestures, just like an actual player. Needless to say, it pissed off many people.
He doesn't seem like my friend. He seems like a guy that's trying to stab me in the fucking back. What the f, dude? What the f? What a fucking puss, dude. Oh, what a fucking pussy, dude. Oh, I want to go get him so bad. Oh my god, what the f? Dude, not only is that NPC fucking... the AI on that guy is really good. Not only is that guy a fucking, like, troll, but he's a pussy. I feel like he's gonna come back when I least expect it and stab me in the fucking back, though. Well, whoa, we will, motherfucker. Oh, is it Nightbot just being broken? Oh my f- No! No! No fucking way, dude! No fucking way! Oh my fucking god.
Looting treasure chests in RPGs is a very common practice, but Final Fantasy XII did something so devious that it pissed off players and made them want to restart the entire game. In the original 2006 PS2 game, the best weapon you could acquire was the Zodiac Spear. It was so powerful that it was actually considered overpowered, and the only requirement to unlocking it was not opening 4 specific treasure chests early in the game. It sounds easy enough, but the problem was that the game never told you nor intimated what those chests were. There was absolutely no way of knowing without going online or buying a strategy guide. As such, many players like myself missed out on obtaining literally the best weapon in the game, and it was psychologically torturous. Some thought about restarting the game, but by the time they realized their mistake, they'd already sunk in a couple of hours. And while there was a second chance at obtaining the Zodiac Spear later in the game, there was only a measly 0.1% chance of it appearing, which didn't make it worthwhile. It's unknown why Square Enix used such an arcane, nebulous method for unlocking the ultimate weapon, but many suspect it was to make people buy the game's strategy guide. What made things even more difficult was that once the spear was unlocked, you had to retrieve it by going through one of the toughest dungeons in the game. When you entered it, a cutscene played where one of your characters warned that the place was filled with deadly monsters and that they should turn back.
As the Dawn Shard brought down the Leviathan and her fleet, a fell mist spilled forth. It is like the same thing happened here. The Nethicite's mist has corrupted the life of this place. It is a necrohol overrun with beasts. We tread here on a fool's errand. We'd best turn back.
Enemies could kill you so quickly and easily that fighting them was futile.
I can't. I can't.
Oh, well, my healer is dead. Wonderful. I don't really know about this area.
So the strategy that players employed for getting through the long maze-like dungeon was to run for their lives while buffing and healing themselves like a madman. Once players reached the room where the Zodiac Spear was located, they had to open a specific chest that contained the weapon. However, if you had a specific piece of gear equipped, the Zodiac Spear wouldn't spawn. It's another crucial thing the game failed to mention, but if you did manage to finally get the elusive item, you then had to run out of the dungeon and pray you made it out alive. Square Enix would eventually make it easier to obtain the Zodiac Spear in the HD remaster of the game, but the memory of not getting it before still haunted the unfortunate. It's common for games to flesh out a character through dialogue and cutscenes, but Kane Lynch Deadman did something different and clever. The game's deuteragonist is a criminal named Lynch, who is a psychotic and schizophrenic murderer.
Wouldn't.
That's enough. Whoa, she's all limp. I didn't even hit her that hard.
In the game's co-op, the person playing Lynch can enter psychotic fear mode that allows them to kill a bunch of cops in one particular level. Things get trippy though when cops with pig heads show up.
Where the hell are you? Sorry, there are a bunch of cops
keep fucking coming! There they are, you fuckers! Don't be so fucking quiet!
Hey, Lynch, cut it out! They're no threat!
Lynch, relax. Just take a deep breath. You're going to be okay.
Don't fucking patronize me!
It turns out Lynch was hallucinating due to his unmedicated psychosis and was actually killing innocent civilians, not cops. What's more, in real life, Player 2 could only see the cops on their screen, while Player 1 just saw unarmed pedestrians. It was a novel and ingenious way of using a game mechanic to help the player understand a character's mindset. Not only that, but all of the cops with pig heads were women, and the reason may be due to how Lynch was convicted of murdering his wife. A 1980s Commodore 64 game called Ceti possibly did something no other game has done since. The game's story revolves around saving humanity by shutting down automatic defense systems that have malfunctioned. Throughout the game, you're able to type commands that will trigger certain actions. For instance, if you want to save your game, you type the word save, and typing the word equip will bring up a menu that allows you to refuel your ship or repair it. One quirk is that if you reportedly type a curse word, the game will warn you about using such language, and that you're going to regret what you just said. A countdown timer then begins, and when it reaches 0, the game will intentionally softlock the Commodore 64, requiring you to reboot the computer. It's a pretty crazy thing to do, and there's no way a game would be allowed to do that nowadays.